200 Afghans, mostly women, escape Afghanistan with help of Canadian charity.
Here's a summary of the article.
Dozens of female Afghan students have escaped the Taliban with the help of a Toronto-based charity and are heading to Saskatoon after a daring land journey lasting weeks. The group of about 200 Afghans spent weeks trying to find a safe route to evade the Taliban, which recently reclaimed political control of the country and opposes the education of women. With support from the youth charity, the girls tried to escape by air after the Taliban seized control of the country in a lightning offensive last month. Around 35 Afghans have already arrived in the Saskatchewan city, which is home to a small community of refugees from that country. Federal Immigration Minister Marco Mendicino said Canada will exhaust all the options to help Afghan refugees get to safety in our country. Offering refuge to women, girls and persecuted minorities is at the heart of Canada's humanitarian response to the crisis in Afghanistan, Mendicino told the Canadian press. On August 13, the federal government announced it would resettle 20,000 Afghans who had fled their country, and set up a special program for especially vulnerable Afghans, including women leaders, human rights activists, journalists, persecuted minorities and members of the LGBT community, as well as the family members of former interpreters who have previously fled to Canada.
This post received a score of 15,000, with an upvote ratio of 95%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
FYI. To donate to the cause.
This looks like an ethical charity based on their causes and lack of overt religious messaging. Nothing like helping desperate people as an excuse to force religion on them, so it's heartening to see a charity like this as a contrast and an example.
Big brain time. Just take all the women out of Afghanistan. Can't oppress women if there is no women.
Then Afghan becomes the first gay nation on earth.
Greater than first. What is this blatant Sweden erasure? Look of triumph, look of triumph, look of triumph.
This is fabulous Sparta.
Greater than, but dozens of female Afghan students have escaped the Taliban with the help of a Toronto-based charity and are heading to Saskatoon. They did nothing to deserve this punishment.
At least you can afford a place to live in Saskatoon. You can then afford to fly to Toronto for the few cultural amenities just as many times a year as native Torontonians.
Honestly, at this point I'm waiting for the whole country to flee and just leave the Talibans there, like, now what?
That's what I'm expecting to see, but things will probably start to ease up soon and Afghanistan will just end up as a third world country for the time being.
Looking forward to Ben Affleck's movie showing how the Americans helped these women escape.
Can't wait to see the big intense chase sequences and cool explosions that never happened as well.
Well, there might be CIA drone strikes against the women as they escape to add tension.
This is great to see. Now infrastructure needs to be set up to take them in and integrate them into the communities in a way that isn't disruptive to either side. These people need help, they are humans too.
They're heading to Saskatoon. Nothing helps people band together as a community than a Canadian winter.
Good. Hoping the ones in Afghanistan are okay. Being under Taliban rule must be awful. Wish there was more we could do to help.
Outstanding and awesome, thanks Canada.
Greater than Saskatoon. Oh no. Well, hopefully the people in Saskatoon don't harass these people. Racist Belt Central. Good for Saskatoon for taking them in. Now make sure they are treated well, please.
Saskatoon isn't particularly racist to Middle Eastern peoples. Probably partly because there is such a small population of them here. The vast majority of racism is directed to First Nations people. I suspect that a group of 200 Afghan women won't even be noticed. People here generally stick to themselves and their own, particularly right now.
First Nation? Does that mean natives that were there first?
It is the current preferred term for a specific group of indigenous populations. They encompass several tribes. It is not a blanket term for all indigenous, as the Inuit and Métis are separate and distinct.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.